5 coaching questions to ask a negative person. A really simple question when someone's being negative or exhibiting negative tendencies is to ask them, what was your objective? What were you trying to achieve? See, instead of telling someone to cut it out, get them to see their own actions by bringing it back to business imperatives. Typically, people will answer, well, I was so frustrated, when in fact, that's not an answer to the question. What they're really exhibiting is they didn't even have an objective at the forefront of their mind. 2, the sword plus a risk question. The sword is when you own the reason why you're asking the question so you can involve them and get them engaged in answering. For example, Bob, just so I don't make assumptions of what you're trying to achieve in the staff meeting, that is a technique called the sword. You're owning why you're asking the question. But when you combine it with a risk question, it can be very powerful. For example, Bob, just so I don't make assumptions of what you're trying to achieve in the staff meeting, what were you trying to do when you engaged John? And more importantly, what risk do you think you may have taken? And what could I do to help you? Those question formats will help plant that seed to get them to see their behavior. 3rd, self-actualized question. John, when you were exhibiting that interaction with Bob in the meeting, what were you trying to achieve? And more importantly, what do you think you need to do to successfully get back on track with him? A self-actualized question is a what question plus a success imperative. What are you going to do to positively interact with him the next time? 4, reflective plus action. If you have someone who's really negative, one of the tendencies we have is to tell them to stop, as if that really works. Reflection, giving them time to think about their behavior, about their attitudes, really serves as a great coaching apparatus. For example, Julie, what I'd like to do is give you some feedback, and I'd like to give you some perception. I'm going to ask you to do something a little bit different. I don't want you to respond. I want you to just assimilate, digest it, and just really try to think about what I'm saying to you. Julie, in our staff meeting today, I felt like you really, perception-wise, were undermining Bob. Every time he spoke, you interrupted him. The other thing is, when you disagreed with him, you showed a lot of physical characteristics, such as shrugging your shoulders or rolling your eyes. Now, instead of telling me now, what I'd like to know, and let's get back together in a couple days, what actions are you willing to take to really be professionally successful in those type of meetings, to be an engaged professional team member? And then what you do is you part ways. Time does an amazing thing with people with negative attitudes. Rating plus perception over intent. Let me give you the rating portion. Jill, on a scale of 1 to 6, when you're engaging with your teammates, 6, you're highly engaged, you're positive all the time, and maybe 1, you're pretty choppy, and you can be viewed as abrasive or even perceived as not working well with others. Where would you rate yourself and why? That can open up a huge door. Guess what they typically do? They go somewhere in the middle. Well, I'm about a 2 or a 3. Awesome. What I'd like to do is take some action steps to move you towards a 4, 5, and a 6. And I'd like to know from you, what are the actions we need to put into play, to put into action, to control that perception so people can more respect your intent. Now, if I did those fluently, or if they felt very fast to you, we practice a lot of questioning models here at Progress Coaching. I hope they've been helpful. Now, if this interests you, send me an email. If you'd like to hear about our coaching program and how we teach people questions and activities and approaches, we'd love to chat with you. Thanks.